welcome back to my channel, Midnight Makes. My name is Denali, and this is my little corner of the internet where I talk about what I've been knitting, cross-stitching, sewing, crocheting, whatever other crafty hobby I happen to be up to at the time. Today's episode is going to be going through my WIP graveyard for my knitting and my crochet. So I should be filming my knitting, crochet, journal, podcast, episode update thing. But, you know, here we are. I'm not doing that. So, I'm going to get to that. I'm hoping the beginning of next week I'll get to that. But for today, I want to go through where my knitting and crochet WIPs go to die. Basically, I am the type of person, it's probably the ADHD, where I will fall in love with a project and be all gung-ho and want to do it as, you know, quickly as possible. I'll cast it on, I'll get going, and then something will happen. I'll either get distracted by another, oh my god, I need to make this project, or I will have to stop for obligation knitting, like test knits, or other things, or I'll just hit a point where I get bored of the pattern. Or there's even times where either the pattern's not working for me, the yarn's not working for me, or a combination of the both. So, today I want to go through and frog a bunch of lips, and I have my notebook right here. I want to make a list of priority projects that I want to get done ASAP. And then projects that I want to get done, I'm still enjoying, but that will be later on down the road or in the fall, because, you know, we're hitting that point where it is summer and I want to do summer knits. I don't want to be knitting with thick worsted weight yarn making a thick worsted weight sweater. So we're gonna go ahead and go through that, and here's my goal for the day. This basket is supposed to be my WIP basket. All of my WIPs are supposed to fit in here. They don't. This is full. There's, like, right beside where y'all are set up, there's just piles of WIPs. So I want to get my WIPs down to fitting in here, and hopefully kind of organized into a way that I know these ones need to be done. I need to work on these, and I want to get stuff in project bags or, you know, organized where I can find them easily for what I need to do. So for this video, I'm not going to talk about the yarn. I'm not going to talk about the patterns. I'm not that organized today. I don't have that good of a memory. And to be honest, I would like to have to do as little editing on this video as possible. So let's get started. I say I don't want to do very much editing, and then my nose starts running. We're in peak spring here, and I have all of the allergies. So I apologize for any sniffling or anything else that might be going on. So my first little project is technically multiple projects, but it was a set. So I don't even know when I did this, but Paper Daisy Creations did a 4 sock set for The Princess Bride. I love The Princess Bride. I love that movie. And I was really excited for these. And I was kicking butt on them. I got the kit from Lolo Did It. There's me talking about the yarn. And I love the yarn and everything. And I was loving the patterns. So I finished the first set of socks, which were, I don't even remember what these are called. I finished this set, and they have been sitting in the bag because I wanted to finish all of them and take a big photo all together. That's not gonna happen. I also finished the next patterns and started on the 4th pattern. I got 1 set of pattern 2 and 3 and that much of pattern 4. So to be honest, I have a lot of socks, hand knit socks. I even have a basket of hand knit socks that I haven't even worn yet because I have so many that are in my sock drawer that I wear. And to be honest, when I knit socks, they are my relaxing, I don't need to be thinking or looking at my project. So if I'm going to the movies and watching a movie, or if like when last summer when we went to Michigan, they were my knit on the plane because I was exhausted. It was low light, we were flying at night, and I didn't have to think. So pattern socks are just not what I pick up. So that being said, I am going to let these go. I'm going to keep the these ones obviously are going into my sock basket, and these ones I'll probably just, you know, maybe I'll hang them on my corkboard over here where I can see them, because I am proud of these and they are beautiful, but I just have no desire to finish these. And there's a good chunk of yarn in here that I could use for something else. So these are going in the frog pile. Really it's just this one that's being frogged, and then the yarn will go back into my stash for other projects. Okay, so I'm gonna put those over there. I'm gonna keep a tally of my frogged projects, and I'm only counting that as one, even though it was 4 pairs of socks. I'm counting it as one. So these are, I do believe these are all my patterns. Yes, they are. Okay, I can throw those away. Alrighty. So my next WIP graveyard project is this one. I love this. I really want it done. Here's my problem. I cannot find the yarn. I have no idea where the yarn went. So the fact that all I have to do is the I-cord bind off, or do a pick up. I pick up the stitches on the arms and the collar, and then just do an I-cord bind off. I have no idea where this yarn is. So, I don't know what I'm gonna do with this. I have been looking for this yarn and I have not been able to find it. It was a cotton yarn, and this was turning out super cute, and I do love the colors. I love this purple and black together, and I do love this, but I don't know what to do since I can't find the yarn. So I'm thinking about using a different color or just using a different yarn altogether to finish this off. So this pattern is going into, or this one is going into my figure it out pile. And I will figure out what to do with it. So, this is striped top. I'm just going to call it the striped top because I have no idea what the heck it's called. So this is my figure it out pile. Okay. Next is this project, which I actually started recently. This has been featured in one of my knitting journals, and these are a colorwork pair of mittens, fingerless mittens. I'm gonna be honest, I love fingerless mittens and I love the colorwork fingerless mittens, but I don't wear these very much, if at all. I have like 4 or 5 pairs of fingerless mittens that I have knit, and I barely wear them. So, reclaiming my needles, and I am going to frog this project. As much as I love it, I love the pattern, I love the yarn, it's just, I'm trying to be more thoughtful on what I make, because I have a lot of things that I've made that never get worn, never get used. They just sit there, and I want to use what I make. I want to wear what I make. I want to love what I make. And, you know, I do love the things that I make. That's why I chose the pattern. But I'm not wearing them. And I need to be more conscious of what I'm making, what colors I'm using, what yarn I'm using, what pattern I'm using, so that I make sure that I am wearing what I make. I have been doing this a lot in my sewing, and this year I need to do it in my knitting as well. So because of that, those are getting frogged. I've added it to my frog list. So my goodness. Okay. Another project that I have. I bought this yarn on vacation, not last Christmas, but the Christmas before. And as you can tell, it is reflective yarn. I really enjoy the yarn. I have more of it, and I really like these colors. I'm just not enjoying this pattern. So this is going to be another one that I'm going to frog and use the yarn for something else. But I really like that it's reflective. This is perfect for winter walks with the dog, everything like that. But again, it's just a project that I'm not loving. This was a cowl, I believe. Yes. I think the pattern was originally written for a headband. I was making it into a cowl. But again, I don't wear cowls very much. It's another thing that I don't wear. So I'm going to frog this and use it for something else. So that's going to be another one going into the frog pile. I'm going to pause the video, rearrange so that I can find more of my WIPs, because I realized that in my WIP bin, there's a lot of projects that aren't even started yet. So I don't know why they're in there. I'm going to deal with that, and then I will be right back. For you, it'll be no time at all. Okay. and we're back. Yeah, there was quite a bit of stuff in there that didn't belong in there, which was taking up a good chunk of space. So my next WIP is a pair of socks. I don't even know what yarn or pattern this is. It might not even be a pattern. I might just have been winging it. Who knows? This is just a simple eyelet. Yarn over, knit two together, yarn over, knit two together, yarn over, knit two together. That. And I just threw my yarn. What? Good Lord, where did it go? And the yarn's gone. I'll find that. This is going to go into the finish it pile. Finish it eventually. Let me write that down. So these are going to go in my finish it eventually ones. Another one that's going to go into my finish it eventually are these pair of socks. However, I don't know where the skein of yarn is. So that's good. I really need to keep my stuff together. So I'm going to put this in the figure it out pile because, again, where's my skein of yarn? Okay, so let's see. I'm going to pause again and find the skein of yarn that I just threw somewhere. And then I'll be back. Okay, that yarn went way under the bed. I can't reach it. So I am going to put this in the figure it out pile until I find the yarn. Okay, next. So this is another pair of socks. It's a colorwork pair. They're worsted weight, and these were going to be like a pair of house socks, but to be honest, I did this much and then I'm like, I'm done. I don't want to knit anymore on these. So frog and reclaiming my needles, we'll add that to my frog pile, and I'm going to reclaim, whoa, sorry, didn't mean to shake you. I'm going to put this into my reclaim pile. Okay. My next project is this. So, these are little feet. This is a big ass head. And these are supposed to go together. So, Paw World, if you don't know what it is, it's kind of like knockoff Pokemon, but with guns. Is weird. I've been playing it. I haven't played it in a while, but I was playing it. And my favorite little pal is Depresso. And I found this pattern on Etsy. And I was making him. I finished his head. And then I made his feet. I don't know. The size is just weird. So I put him down. I have not touched him since. I'm going to frog him. I would prefer to make a much smaller Depresso that is like the size of his head and make it so that it actually kind of seems like it would actually go together, which these do not. So I'm going to frog this, and there is a ton of stuffing in here. So I'm going to frog it and reclaim the yarn and all of this stuffing to make other amigurumis. Oops, I just dropped that on my dog. my next little amigurumi is this. It's a pickle. Pickle Rick from Rick and Morty. That's what this is supposed to be. I have to do the embroidery on him. I like embroidery. I like to do embroidery on fabric. I hate doing it on amigurumis. So this has been just sitting there. This would take me probably 20 minutes if I just sat down and did it. So I need to get my crap together and finish this. So this is going to go in the finish ASAP pile because I want to have Pickle Rick done. So it's gonna go in my finish ASAP pile, which I'm gonna put over here. I'm running out of space. So my next project is a corner to corner blanket, and this one I have not worked on in years, and it's blocks, and it's based off of Star Trek The Next Generation. So I have the center panel done, and I have Worf done, and Captain Picard done. I do eventually want to have this. I was working on it and then I hurt my shoulder. I have a repetitive strain injury in my shoulder, and crochet really messes that up. So when I was working on this, I was doing other things and ended up hurting my shoulder and could not crochet for like a year. And in that time, this project got put to the side and hasn't been touched. I do eventually want to finish this, so I am going to keep these. They're going to go probably in the bottom of my WIP bin, and they will be in the, eventually I will finish it. This will probably be a long-term project, but I will finish it eventually. And I would like to do, you know, the rest of the squares with the rest of the characters, because Next Gen is the Star Trek that I grew up on. That was the one that was airing when I was younger. I've watched it repeatedly since, and it's now one of my son's favorite Star Treks. So eventually I will finish it, but for now it's just going to go in the bottom of my WIP bin, and it'll be an eventually finish. Okay, next is another project I'm gonna frog. Yay! So this was a pair of shorts that I started. So I finished a pair of shorts earlier this spring. It wasn't the spring. It was more like the end of winter. But I had knit them, and they were a fingering weight pair of shorts. They're wool, but like I'm okay with that because I live in Alaska and it gets cold even in the summers here, so I'm not worried about wearing wool. Plus, you know, wool is nice for when you sweat and everything. So then I started these, and these are a worsted weight pair of shorts. I do love the pattern, and I would like to eventually do this, but this is a cotton yarn, and between it being cotton and it being worsted weight, I was just not vibing with it, and I ended up stealing the needles for something else. But anyways, this is gonna go in the frog pile. It's just not my thing. anymore, and it's just something that if I'm gonna make them, I want to enjoy the process, and I was not enjoying these. So this will be another frog. And then, all right, I'm gonna move things around again, and then I'll be right back. Okay, so my next project is a tank top. And it's a very bright yellow tank top. I have the body done. I have one of the triangles. I have 3 more to do, and then it's done. This one I definitely want for this summer. I was knitting this in the middle of winter, and yellow and being a tank top in the middle of winter was not really a good idea. So I do want to get this done. This is going to go in my finish ASAP because I want to be able to wear this on vacation and wear it throughout the summer. So I want it done. See, this is the Tolsta tank from Crochet. And the yarn I got in Michigan, which is another reason why I want to finish it, is we're going to go back to Michigan this summer, and I'd like to wear it. So that's going to go in the finish it ASAP pile. Alrighty. Well, my WIP pile is getting smaller. So my next one is a worsted weight sweater that is color blocked. Again, I've stolen the needles off of it. This one, however, I stole the needles because I needed them for, there's a random piece of yarn. I needed them for a test knit that I was doing, and another reason why I need to clean this out is because I can't find a lot of my needles, and I know they're buried in here somewhere. But this sweater, I love it. It's gonna be a oversized color block sweater. It's wool, it's worsted weight, and it's gotten to the point where it's warm and I don't want to work on this. So this is going to go in my finish it eventually pile. This is in a Barnes & Noble book bag with a little pin from Hot Topic, I believe. This one will go into, I will finish it eventually. I'll probably pick it back up in the fall, winter, as things start cooling down here. Until then, it's too warm and I don't want to work on it. I just finished a DK weight cardigan that is my last kind of winter cold weather. Sorry, my dog is being weird. Finished my last cold weather thing, and the rest of my knits are going to be summer stuff. So this is going to go in the, I should not be sitting on I have my legs crossed on this chair, and that's not a good idea. This is going to go in the finish it eventually pile. I will put it in my actual WIP bin, which I'm gonna have to reorganize later. Okay, next, I believe this is a blanket. Yes, it is. So, a couple years ago, this is from an advent calendar, and I knit a scarf, a advent scarf, and then I was using the extras to make like a little scrappy blanket, just a crocheted granny square blanket. And I have all of the squares finished. I just have to attach the black and attach them together, and I have not done that, obviously. I haven't really felt like crocheting very much lately, and when I have wanted to crochet, it hasn't been like blankets. Obviously, blankets are more in the long term. I will finish eventually one. These are definitely there. Let's add that to the list. Okay. Speaking of Advent blankets, this is the first Advent blanket, or the Advent yarn that I got, the first ever. And, this is the Radvent throw, I think is what it was called. I have all the squares done. It was when I started connecting them together, I got bored and I have not touched this since. This is going to go in my finish eventually, and I would like to probably in the fall like focus on my blankets for a little while and get some progress done on them, because I have this one, the last one, and then I have another one going, and I would like to get a couple of them done. So this is going to go in the finish it eventually pile, and I'll get there, hopefully. Okay, my next project is a pair of socks for my dad. They're just basic 2x2 ribbed socks. I'm doing an afterthought heel. I have the first sock knit and I need to knit the next one. These are a Christmas present. He knows about them. They were actually supposed to be a Christmas present last year, but I switched gears and he got a sweater instead. Anyways, ow, right in the eyeball. Anyways, these are going to be in the finish it eventually pile. I just don't feel like knitting on socks right now. I've knit a lot of socks through the years and they're just not, I'm bored. I am so bored of them. So this will go in the finish eventually pile, and I will plan to have them done by Christmas. That way, you know, he can have another pair of socks. I'm not too concerned about it. What is in here? There isn't a project in here, but there is an asinine amount of needles. No freaking wonder I can't find any of my needles. What the hell? Okay. I'm gonna, first of all these are gonna be going into my pile of reclaimed needles, and this actually has the yarn for my sweater, my color block sweater in it. And it has the pattern, so I'm assuming, is this the pattern? Yeah, it is. So I'll probably put it in here and then use my book bag for something else. Okay, let's see what's in this one. Oh, another frog project. So, which I've actually kind of already started frogging. This was just a random, this was just a random crochet project that I was doing. I wanted like a mesh net. I saw a top on Pinterest, and it was really easy to recreate, and I did recreate it, but I didn't like the way it fit on me. I already started frogging this, so I'm going to continue frogging it and use that yarn for something else. Okay, my next project is a hat, and this one, I actually have started this since my previous knitting update. This is a scrappy hat. I needed a simple knit for car knitting, for knitting, you know, doing whatever else. This was it. It only took me like a few days. I think it was like 3 or 4 days to knit the entirety of the hat. I got to the decreases, and it's to the point where I need to switch to DPNs to finish it off. It'll take me like 5 minutes max to finish this. But it's been sitting on my coffee table for 3 weeks with nothing happening. So this is going in the ASAP finish pile. And I'm gonna finish it. Because it needs to be finished. There's absolutely no reason for it not to be finished. Okay, so my next project is a crochet project. This one, if you watched my last knitting and crochet journal episode, this is just a granny stripe dress that I've been working on. I have not touched it since that episode, which was like, or that journal update, that was back a month ago. I haven't touched it just because I have not wanted to crochet at all. So this is gonna go in my finish it eventually pile. I do want to finish it, but at the moment I just have zero will to crochet, and I'm not going to force myself to do something that I don't feel like doing. So it's going over there. Okay, another crochet project is this. Hold that so that it doesn't start unraveling. Is this crocheted blankets? I'm making it I'm making it for my son. I have done a whole bunch. It's just a granny chevron blanket. I'm loving it. Sorry, we live at the base of the, it's like the very end of the, there's another one. We live at the very end of the Air Force Base runway, and we get jets flying over on a regular basis, and they're very loud. So anyways, this is gonna go in my finish it eventually. It's not a rush. My son's fine with not getting it right away. It's just for fun, and once I feel like crocheting again, I will come back to my crochet projects, but I have no will to crochet at the moment. So that's that project. Okay, I only have 2 more project bags. So we'll go with this one. This one's in a Christmas bag because it's a Christmas project. So, this winter, like every winter for the last like few years, Arnie and Carlos have done a stocking along. I've never joined in. I finally decided that I was going to join in this year. And I switched my colors. I am not a green and red Christmas person. So I opted for a green, a cream, and then this mustardy color. And I absolutely love how this is turning out. I was kicking away at it. I was doing my daily 6 rounds that they were releasing, and then I had to put it off to the side because I had to finish my dad's Christmas sweater, and I was way behind on that. I waited until the last minute to do it, and because of that I had to put off everything else and stress it. So this got put to the side. I do want to finish it. Obviously not right now. It is wool, it is thick, and I do want to do their next stocking along. So my goal is to, in the fall, finish this one before the next stocking along comes out. So this is again going to go into the finish it eventually pile, and I will get there again probably towards the fall. But I'm not gonna worry about it right now. Okay, last one. Actually that's not true. I have 3 other WIPs, but those almost dropped my bag. Those are my active WIPs. Those ones I'm working on, if not every day, like every couple of days. So those 3 I'm not going to talk about because there's no point. I will talk about those though in my knitting journal update, which I'm going to try to film Monday. We'll see if it happens. So this is a vintage pattern. And I am so far into this pattern. I have the back panel done. It's just a vest. I have the back panel done. I have the front panel body done, this side done, and I'm working on this front side. I actually put this away because I had test knits to work on. I had a sweater test knit, a cardigan test knit, and I'm currently working on another tank top vest. It's a vest, I think is what she's calling it. Vest, tank top. So this got put away so that I could work on my test knits. This will come back out shortly because I really love this one and I really want to have it done. And again, all I have to do is finish the front piece, and then these will get sewn. The 2 pieces will get sewn together, and then I'll do the ribbing on the sleeves and the neckline. So this will be finished soon-ish. It's going in my finish ASAP pile. That way I can have it to wear. I don't know that I would wear it this summer because it is a wool alpaca blend, and it's gonna be warm. But I have it, and eventually I will get there. So that's all my WIPs. That is spring cleaning my WIP graveyard. So I have six projects that I'm frogging. I have 3 projects that are in my figure it out pile. I have 4 projects in my finish it ASAP pile, and I have 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 projects in my finish it eventually pile. So I think I will probably try to go through and clean out my WIP graveyard every like 6 months or so. That way I can keep myself honest, and I can also see what projects are still in my WIP graveyard in 6 months, in a year. You know, that way I can kind of make a decision where not only is it still in my WIP graveyard, but has it had progress? Have I even touched it? Have I worked on it? And that way I can kind of go over everything. So I'll keep my list. I will work on my projects, and then in like another 6 months or so, I'll come back and see what is still from my list, still in my WIP graveyard, what has been added, which I'm sure there will be plenty more added. But that way I can kind of keep myself controlled. You know what I mean? So anyways, thank you for joining. This has been a little bit of a longer video. I apologize for that. But let me know down below how long you will let a WIP linger before you decide to frog it. You know, leave me a comment, let me know. I have let WIPs linger for years. I mean, I've got projects that are sitting here that I've been lingering for years. So, anyways, I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day, wherever you are in the world. And I will hopefully see you back here next week, and I will actually film a knitting update about what I've been up to for the last month. Okay, I'll talk to you later. Bye.